Hi Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 2021 Mercury Retrograde reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Scorpio be affected by the September 2021 Mercury Retrograde? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our inner self. The left-hand side, no, at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the tarot has to say. We start off with the Tower, and then we have the Devil, which is Capricorn energy coming into play. If we have Capricorn within our natal chart, that's going to come through very powerfully as rooted, grounded energy for us. But we do have a change, and it's especially around the waking world during this time. We then have the Eight of Water. We're walking away from something we once thought we would love. It then leads us to the Council of Beings, which is equivalent to Judgment in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. There's a sense of there being more around us than we know. There's a greater connection than we have originally realized. And that's going to be a really powerful thing for us during this Mercury retrograde. We then have the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. If we have Cancer within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our heart. The Six of Swords, there's something we're leaving behind. We have that showing up now 3 times. And then we have the Four of Cups, a gift that is coming in that doesn't feel like a gift. We have here charity. There is a sense of generosity, of giving, of connecting, of becoming. And then we have the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is a doorway, it says here. I almost see, I do. That's why I was surprised when I read doorway. I was like, I almost see a door opening. It's like a new beginning coming, a new way to walk forward. And that's the Eight of Cups. We're ending with the Eight of Cups again. So we're moving away from something, and we're actually starting to be charitable to ourselves here, Scorpio. That's what Spirit is saying, because we find ourselves aligned with more than just what we had originally thought, or more than just the ordinary. We start to become aligned with a bit of the extraordinary, and that opens up the door in a very real and very powerful way. Now let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Scorpio needs to be mindful of during Mercury retrograde. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. It's the King of Wands. This is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is also a sense of just getting a little bit too angry about things. Mercury retrograde brings frustration. And so when we're communicating with people, when we're communicating with ourselves, we can almost feel like there's a blockage, like there's this huge boulder that we're just trying to hack our way through with a spoon. It feels like we're trying to get through it and we're not able to. So with this Mercury retrograde, we have to understand to be calm. We have to step into a calm, high energy vibrational power, because that's going to let us transcend a lot of arguments, hurts, pains, disappointments, doubts, fears, chaos. And by being able to do that, we're able to step into ourselves more and more and more. We're also going to be very drawn to people for some reason with a bit of a hot temper, a bit of they have a cockiness to them. They have this air around them that they're all that in a bag of chips. And we're going to be sitting there looking at them, and we're going to be taken in. We really are at first. And then we're going to get burned. And then we're going to be looking at them and thinking, why did I think you were so great? So do be mindful of that. Go into things slow. We're going to want to kind of jump the gun because we have this fire energy around us, which says, act now, think later type of thing. We're water sign energy. We want to think now and then act when we're well, good, and ready for it. So that's going to be the difference here. Our chakra energy, angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Divine wisdom. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. There's a sense of wisdom just raining down on us. We're going to get insight. We're going to get ideas. Now, because it's Mercury retrograde, things get muddled and confuddled. So we're going to have to be a bit patient with the way that we're incorporating, interpreting, embracing the wisdom that is around us. So let us talk about this Mercury retrograde, because it's unlike any other. It's a really odd Mercury retrograde because it's Mercury retrograde. It turns everything upside down. It turns everything on its head. It makes communication, hard. It makes contracts hard. It makes, it increases our nervousness. It increases our anxiety. It makes technology break down and us just get frustrated. We lose things. It's not the best time for travel. And so we have all that presented. And yet, it's a rather positive Mercury retrograde, which, we deserve. We've well earned this. So Mercury retrograde lasts between it comes 3 to 4 times a year. This year, thankfully, it's only 3. And this is the last of the Mercury retrogrades. And of course, during this year, we would end on one of the oddest Mercury retrogrades. It lasts for about 24 days. You can find yourself here dwelling on the past. And that's something that we're looking at. And it's like, okay, I see you, I understand you, I get you, to our past, to what has held us in a certain place, but we're really finding that we need to let go. We need to move forward in a very powerful, very real, very personal way. And it leads us away from just a hamster wheel. We can also find ourselves dwelling on things, being overwhelmed, obsessing about things. We have to make sure to stop it, to call ourselves out, to listen to family members or friends that call us out. We can find that during this time, we need to double check everything. Every email we send out, every post that we post, every, letter that we send out into the post. We're going to just have to check everything, make sure that we're, saying the right things, that we never answer or respond to anything in anger or post anything in anger, because we have the King of Wands here and in its negative state. It's a bit of a bully. It really is. We have to make sure that we don't have that bullying, anger energy around us, that we really nip it in the bud before it gets to be a place of toxicity, because that's really going to pull us down. If we can avoid signing contracts, if we can avoid making really big decisions during this time, do so. If we can't, make sure you think things through. Make sure you let things sit on the side for a day or two and look at things in a different light and in a different way. Come to things with fresh eyes, always. That'll also be good for emails and posts and anything. If you can wait and not respond instantaneously out of just frustration or emotion, that's going to be a powerful thing. Now, the Mercury retrograde period, the shadow period, started on the 6th of September. So the shadow period will bring up something related to Mercury, which is like almost everything. It's thinking and speaking and contracts and travel. And, so here, something has come up from the 6th of September to the 27th of September, because that's the 27th is when Mercury retrograde starts. And we're going to see it play out in Mercury retrograde. We're going to see it play out in this sphere of a bit of chaos, of a bit of, doubt and fear and negativity, but also in this time where it says, I'm releasing. We need a Mercury retrograde. We need things to be turned on their heads because we need to declutter. We need to release so much. And during this Mercury retrograde, that's actually what we're going to be doing. Now, the planetary alignment for this Mercury retrograde are all in my full moon videos. So if you want to, for September, if you want to check those out, I don't want this video to be so long and so full of information that you can't possibly process it. So here, if you're interested in the moon, not in the moon, but in the planetary alignments during this Mercury retrograde, check out the full moon reading. It has it right in the beginning. If you're just satisfied with the star alignment for this time, that's awesome. That's what we have right here. So Mercury is going to be conjunct the fixed star Actuaris. What this means is that the fixed star Actuaris brings opportunity. No, it helps us obtain justice through power. It brings us opportunities for justice through power. It brings us richness, it brings us esteem, and it brings us determination. Now remember, this is all going to be relative. So our esteem, our richness can be different than another person's esteem and richness. This can also provide lasting success if we can stay in a positive energy mindset. What we are going to see during this Mercury retrograde, especially, is that if we stay in a positive mindset, this Mercury retrograde winds up being a bit of a breeze. This Mercury retrograde will have some stumbles along the way. We'll have to say, oh, I didn't mean this. I meant that. We can have some arguments over, each other being snippy. That's part of the deal. But what we're going to find is that we really start to align ourselves with a place of success. So if we can do this through meditation, if we can do this through connection with nature, if we can do this through barefoot or barefoot shoe walking, that's going to be great for us. To obtain this high energy mindset, to obtain this vibrational, positivity to move us forward. It aligns us with success because of the fixed star in Actuaris. Now, if we don't, what happens is we can feel astoundingly overwhelmed. If we have a negative energy mindset, if we find ourselves, slipping or feeling ill or something like that, it can kind of lower our energy vibration. We can very easily feel overwhelmed. So we're just going to have to be mindful of that, something to take note of and say, okay, when I feel myself slipping or when I feel myself, becoming cranky or overwhelmed, I remove myself from that situation, or I give myself a bit of a break, a bit of a breather. I go get a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, whatever it is that I need to be able to center myself again. Now, Mercury conjunct the fixed star Spica. This star also, again, aligns us with success and renown and riches and fame and niceness. Like, people become nicer during this Mercury retrograde because Mercury is conjunct the fixed star Spica. Now, again, it's all relative. So nicer for some people is just not being, bitterly mean all the time. So again, that's going to be something to be mindful of. It's all going to be relative to the person, to their personal journey. This also brings us a love for the arts, for science, but we can also find this really a hard alignment if we come to the world with more of an innocent approach, if we are maybe a bit naive about things, or if we are just kinder people. This star is a star that aligns us with power, and no really nice people become truly powerful because it's just either not something that they seek out, or they get eaten up by the wolves out there that want all the recognition and the glory. So we have to be mindful of that during this time. With Spica also, this brings us an above average intuition and psychic alignment. So if we're looking to, get into the tarot or runes or anything like that, or even meditation or yoga or whatever we're doing to elevate our own spiritual awareness or connection with the earth, this is the time to start it. It also has this beautiful kind of androgynous air to it. So it's a sense of like, you can feel comfortable here no matter what. And it brings us to a spiritual alignment, a spiritual sense of, again, you can feel comfortable here no matter what. You're connecting with this divine wisdom. And Scorpio, that's really going to be a really wonderful thing for you. This is a great time for scientists, for writers, for artists, for anybody who is an innovator, a creator. Now, on the 18th of October, this is the last day of Mercury retrograde, but it begins the second shadow period of Mercury. This is Mercury stationary direct. The planetary alignment for Mercury stationary direct is really beautiful. It is, right now, Mercury will be, on the 18th, Mercury will be sextile Venus, which brings a charming, soothing energy that makes it a good time for following love, for falling in love, for saying, I'm letting my heart guide me. And as a water sign energy, to say, I'm letting my heart guide me is a really beautiful, powerful thing. It's time to follow peace and to set down roots in what we love, to say, my emotions have value here and I'm embracing my heart. Mercury is also going to be trine Saturn, which brings determination, achievement, when we want to tackle things that we haven't been able to tackle before. So during this shadow period of Mercury, we're going to find that we can start getting things done in a it's weird way, yes, but in a really real way, in a really like, I don't care, I'm rolling up my sleeves, I'm going after it, I'm not being held back anymore, new me, new time forward, determined, steadfast. That's what we're going to be during this time. Now, the star alignment, that's where we have to pay attention, because Mercury is going to be conjunct the fixed star Vindimatrix. So with Vindimatrix, what happens is if we have a low energy vibration, Vindimatrix just absolutely takes advantage of us. Absolutely will go in for the kill. It will bring melancholy, it will bring hastiness, it will bring impulsiveness, because we just think things have to change. Like, I have to do something. It also makes us very drawn to the darker, more macabre things in life, like things hidden in the shadows. And it could also be things that are purely saturated in light. Wherever we cannot see properly, this is going to be the place that we can be drawn to because of Vindimatrix. We have to be really mindful during this time of surrounding ourselves with positive energy vibration. I know I've been saying this a lot, but energy matters. And for some reason, our world is taking us away from the energy and saying, oh no, don't worry about it. Just, do this, just do that, just connect yourself with things and not with the earth, and feed yourself on highly processed foods that will give you super amounts of energy and fuel, but don't eat an apple because that's bad for you. That's getting a bit passionate, but that's not where we want to be. We want to connect with the earth during this time. We want to eat things that have an energy to them. We want to, connect with things that have an energy to them. And as we do so, we start to open up our lives, open up ourselves, and build power within us. If we are drawn to true crime, watching true crime or reading about true crime, or, murder mysteries and horror, and murder mysteries, not like Murder, She Wrote or Columbo or even, Brokenwood or anything like that. Not the cozier murder mysteries, but the ones that are really intense and really gory. This will lower our energy vibration just by the sheer, genre of it or content of it that's more appropriate. So we have to be very mindful of this. We have to, step back and say, okay, I'm going to watch things that make me laugh. I'm going to read things that make me laugh. I'm going to, go after things that make me feel good when I'm done with them. That's going to be really important. Now, Mercury is also going to be conjunct the fixed star Purima. Now, Purima is really cool. If we, again, come to this with a higher energy vibration, all of a sudden, this is like a superpower. We understand and we start to see the underhanded side of people. So we start to see the people that are trying to take advantage of us, trying to, get what they want, schemers, liars, those type of things. And as we see them, we're able to know where we stand with them, or be able at least to see their game. So that's going to be important. Now, if we come to this with a lower energy vibration, what we're going to feel is worried. What we're going to think is that no matter how hard I work, I will never get where I want to be, because there's somebody else always willing to just do something I'm not in order to achieve. Now, we can also feel that way when it comes with a higher energy vibration, when we come to it with a higher energy vibration. Because again, some people are perfectly happy being liars and cheats and sneaks, and they don't care. As long as they're, kind of filling their coffers with gold, they're fine with it. And that's their path. And that's on them. It's not on us. What we have to look at here is we have to look at the change that Spirit is bringing us. During this time, Spirit is pushing us out of our comfort zone. It's pushing us to see things and understand things, and richness and power and deceit and hurt and love and hate during this time, that we need to be able to say, but this is who I am. This is what I want. Because by the 18th of October, if we know our loves a bit more, if we know what's absolutely intrinsically true for us and what isn't, then we're able to stand in our power, in our insight, in our ideas with honesty and openness and integrity and determination. And it leads us then to looking at the devil, to looking at, yes, the devil being in the details, but also looking at the things that have chained us to this world. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is the opposite of the Lovers. So the Lovers is an angel with two people being blessed. The devil is the devil with two people being chained to the devil. Now here what we have is we have this skeletal a demon-like creature facing down a child, an adult, excuse me, it doesn't really matter. But what we're going to see here is that there's a part of us that is looking at what we most fear, is looking at where we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to be, and saying, but is that me? Now, this doesn't mean that we run away from our responsibilities. It doesn't mean that we look at the waking world and say, no, I'm done. Though it might mean that some of us start to look at, living in maybe a quieter area, maybe, following the fact that maybe we've always wanted to live by the sea, or maybe we always wanted to, go hiking every weekend or something like that, and saying, well, why the heck not? Why don't I do this? Why don't I let myself move forward this way? And we're starting to break off other people's expectations and really embracing our own. And so the devil brings us forward. And the devil is going to bring us forward in a very real and very open and very honest way to say, look at the chaos, look at the hurt, look at the pain, look at everything that we've been chained to that says you will be happy if, and realizing that it was a lie. And look at what society expects of us, look at what we expect of ourselves, and say, but is this right for me? Is this powerful, purposeful, and brilliant for me? And it moves us to the Eight of Water. And the Eight of Water says, I'm walking away from what I once thought I loved. I'm walking away from where I once was safe. Now, even if it's just an illusion of safety, or a delusion of safety, it's this sense of, I can be safe here because this is where I'm supposed to be. But we have these baby turtles going out into the ocean. And if you've ever watched on National Geographic or anything with baby turtles hatching and going out into the sea, it's a harrowing journey. It really is. It's fraught with so much danger. And then they're in the sea, and that's even more danger. So here, there is a sense of, once I leave the security of where I am, once I leave the nest where, I was laid, yeah, and I hatch and I enter into this world, there's always going to be dangers. There's always going to be obstacles. And yes, that's true. But we're going to find that during this time, we're willing to brave that which is scary and overwhelming, to be able to say, I get to swim free. I get to, move forward. I get to be more. And it moves us then to the council of all beings. It moves us to realizing that we are interconnected with this earth in a way that is astounding. It moves us to understanding that the emotions of all living creatures, all living beings, including plants, is important, and that our place and standing in this earth is fragile and beautiful and complex and needs to be more harmonious, instead of us separating ourselves more and more, maybe coming back to what grounded us to begin with, what nurtured us to begin with. And we're going to find that has a really big draw in our waking world, in our inner self. It's like, but where are my roots? What do I desire? And it's not looking at our roots ancestrally, though for some of us it might very well be. It's more looking at this connection with all beings and all things and all energies and all the sense of the eyes look at us and they see us. Not the way that we want them to see us, but in almost the way that Purima gives us the ability to see others during this time, in that sense of, I see the underhandedness, I see the darker side of you. And as we feel judged, as we feel, seen, we say, is this how I want people to see me? Is this the essence I want to be bringing forward? Or do I want something different? Do I want something more? Do I want something less? What is the powerful purpose of me? And it leads us to the Chariot. It leads us to taking our emotions, taking our desires, taking what is the essence of us, reining it in, and moving ourselves forward, going after what we need, what we want, what we desire, and knowing that there's a fierceness, there's an intensity to us that is extreme and is extremely beautiful. We then have the Six of Swords. We're gathering up our knowledge, we're moving forward, we're facing the water again, we're facing the depth of emotion, and we're saying, it's going to be a bumpy ride, yes, but I have the ability to transform the water that guides me into, or the water that takes me, because we're on the current and can take me wherever it wants to transforming that water into the horses that I use to pull my chariot, that I use to get me to where I need to be. And so as we see this, we realize that we will not be overwhelmed by our emotions during this time if we keep a level head, if we keep an insightful intention on ourselves. And it moves us then to the Four of Cups. A gift starts to come in. that we didn't realize, that we didn't know we wanted, that, starts to bless us, starts to guide us, starts to heal us in a very real, very open, and very beautiful way. But it is, again, something that doesn't feel like, oh, yay. It's something that we think, wow, this is an added responsibility, or this is something so complex or intense or whatever. And as we say that, as we see it, we start to see the way that it incorporates itself into our lives, the way it kind of takes us to look at things differently, or to look at things in a new light. And it brings us in the public arena to be more charitable to ourselves, to be more charitable to what we want and what we desire and where we need to be and what we love, but also the way that we judge ourselves and the expectations that we have for ourselves and the way that we want ourselves to move forward. Because, again, there is just a sense that, we have here change, and then we end with this change, this walking away from what we once thought we would love, this sense of doorways opening, this sense of, I didn't know I could move forward this way. I didn't know this could be my reality. I didn't know that I could be freed from emotional torment or hurt, and I didn't know that I could speak my truth into being. I didn't know that I could, embrace these roads. And that leads us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And that's the Lord. It is a ruling power that says it has to be like this. There is a sense during this time that we're kind of fighting against tradition. We're fighting against what has laid the foundation and what we think that we're supposed to be. And it doesn't have to be that it's anybody's tradition but our own, or the ideas that we have had, the dreams that we have had, and success, excuse me, looks like this, or acts like this, or is this. And now we're starting to say, but why? Why can't it be something more? We're also, again, going to just be very drawn to very aggressive energy during this time, and we need to step back from that. It moves us to our chakra energy, our subconscious chakra energy, and that's truth, the third chakra. We need to be balanced by our truth during this time. If we speak truly, if we speak groundedly, if we speak openly and honestly, yes, sometimes if we tell people the truth of things, they don't want to hear it. If we tell people, or we reveal secrets, it's not always what they want to hear, or something that they think like, oh, wow, that's so cool. But that is okay. We are moving forward in what we need from our lives and from ourselves, and the way that we need to embrace our being. Truth guides us. If we speak our truth, if we say what we truly think and what we truly want, we open up different complex doors, and we say, this is where I need to walk because this is right for me. This resonates with my voice. This resonates with my soul. This resonates with myself. And as we do so, we have our subconscious rooted energy, and that's the star, Aquarius energy. There's a sense that we are guided during this time, not by what we want, but by what we need. And we're starting to see the stars within the sky, which is, our closest star is our sun, which is this blazing, beautiful warmth that leads us. And we start to see it as the sense of, what do I want to fill my days with? Like, what do I wish for? What do I desire? What is the beauty? When you look up at the stars, especially if you go into the mountains, or you go a place, or into the desert, and you look up and you see more stars than you could ever have imagined in your life. You just see the beauty that our ancestors used to see every single night as the world went to sleep. We start to feel ourselves as this powerful person in a greater expanse of time and complexity and intricate understanding. It moves us to our subconscious inner self. And that's the offering. Now, this is Virgo energy in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is a sense of offering to the earth what we want to grow, offering to ourselves what we need to nurture, offering this connection, offering this intention, offering this love and respect, but also moving into ourselves. This isn't going to be a time to have ourselves be in the middle of everything. This is going to be a time to say, what do I need? What do I want? And how do I connect with spirit and soul and becoming and being? It moves us then to our subconscious heart. Here is the 10 of Cups reversed. The 10 of Cups is, and they all live happily ever after. As we're moving forward and moving towards what we love, there can almost seem to be a blockage around, and they all live happily ever after, around a sense of success. There's always going to be the sense of, I need more. I need to push the envelope a bit more. I need to go after things a bit more. And though that's okay, there's going to be a part of us that needs to come to the realization of the old Nordic saying, which is one of my favorites. It's better to be king of a cottage than servant in a castle. And that means so many things in our modern world. Better to be king of a cottage to own what we possess than to be a slave to debt, be a person who is always striving for more and more and more. We have to understand this about ourselves. We have to understand what we want, what we need, what we're focusing towards, what we're leading ourselves to, and what we're bringing ourselves to, and why. Because there's going to be a bit of a doubt here that we're going to be living for somebody else's happily ever after. We're going to be living for somebody else's dream, or for the dream that society has given us, and saying, oh, this is what success looks like, this is what beauty looks like, this is what wonderful things look like. And we're just going to have to be kinder to ourselves and say, what do I want? It moves us to our subconscious public arena energy. It's the Hangman. We're seeing things differently. Yes, we're almost changing the rules of everything. So we don't see things the same way as everybody else, and we're going to think, wow, that's bad, I'm doing this wrong. And yet, it's so good. It's so good. Don't walk away from seeing things differently just because everybody else doesn't get it. It only matters if you get it. And that's the powerful, beautiful thing forward. All right. All right, Sagittarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. Oh, Sagittarius, my goodness. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, the beauty, and the intricacy, the complexity of this Mercury retrograde. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio, and may you have a blessed Mercury retrograde.